Tonight, as months narrow to weeks ahead of official examinations across the national territory, students have reduced sleeping hours to catch up with the syllabus. In time, in this newscast, we'll tell you how students that are going to be sitting in for the BPC Baccalaureate as well as GC examinations are preparing here in the country's economic capital, Douala. Also ahead, several houses have been razed in Balangi, Bonge subdivision of the southwest region of Cameroon, where gunshots were reported last night. It should be noted that the area has almost been transformed into a desert. We bring to you images of the said locality in this edition of the Primetime Newscast. Those are headlines. We shall be right back with the details. Stay with us. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back from the weekend. You are watching the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Learning has intensified in different academic institutions here in the economic capital, Douala, as BPC, Probatoire, Baccalaureate and GC examination candidates will be sitting in for the end-of-year exams. That's going to be in 3 weeks from now. Some students told Innocent as a reporter here in the economic capital, Douala, that they have devised several strategies to cover the syllabus in time. Let's have the details in the following report.
Few weeks to the start of end-of-year and official examinations, preparations in various educational establishments in Douala intensify. At the level of candidates, they are spending sleepless nights. This candidate, preparing for his BPC exams, aims at passing. He spends most of his time studying.
Il n'y a pas trop le temps de manger, donc cet examen me force à procurer beaucoup d'efforts.
Same situation with this girl, who is determined to pass her probatoire, as she repeats.
Je m'organise plutôt bien par rapport à l'année passée. Je trouve que je fais beaucoup plus d'efforts. Je trouve que
To avoid being caught in the trap of a blank academic year, this baccalaureate candidate says he leaves no stone unturned by crossing the bridge before it collapses.
Planning, je travaille la nuit et je dors aussi pour reposer le cerveau.
This is through regular studies, less sleeping hours, and consultation of teachers in school for assistance.
Déjà avec les professeurs, nous faisons les TDI pour préparer.
Teachers and school authorities have on their part taken measures to reap good results by having a firm grip of the candidates, advising them, organizing catch-up classes, giving them continuous assessments, and ensure parents follow them up.
Quand l'élève n'est pas là, il ne saura pas et il va échouer.
With high degree of consciousness, the baccalaureate, probatoire, BPC, and candidates sitting in for other official examinations hope to reap what they sow.
And it should be noted that Mbalangi has almost been transformed into a desert. It is a locality in Bonge subdivision, Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon. It is the aftermath, the images that we can see on our screens of the burning of scores of houses yesterday. We can see how the locality has simply been deserted. Those were images that were taken in the early hours of this morning. Amateur images, of course. It should be noted that there was a gun battle as well yesterday evening in Balangi that is situated some 10 kilometers away from Kumba, Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon. Roads were equally blocked yesterday. A chaotic atmosphere that led to heavy military deployment in Balangi. Commuters had to make a U-turn, and it was equally early this morning that a good number of those who had to spend the night in Boya finally traveled to Kumba, Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon, as a result of the chaotic atmosphere yesterday. We are having reports that there were some casualties. We, of course, will be telling you more on that in our subsequent newscast. And on the socio-political crisis rocking the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon, Aya Paula Bine, the president of the PAP political party, has indicated that negotiation is the password or the solution to the current crisis rocking the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. He was speaking to Babla Jonathan on an exclusive interview on the Insight, that is the weekly magazine program on ETV. Let's hear him in the following interview.
I saw this coming even before I entered Parliament. As a judge, I came out with decisions, judgments, I should say, saying that the non-observance of the bilingual nature of the country was moving us towards the abyss of disaster. In Parliament, the first ever point I raised in Parliament, to the embarrassment of my party, at that time I was on the CPDM ticket, was the fact that a bill was brought before Parliament which was not translated properly into English. And I saw the way Anglophones were treated in the country as if they were conquered people. And I was very vocal, saying that we're moving towards a catastrophe. Because if we take just my example, I could not be a super-scale judge, Group 1, index 1,400. That's the highest in the Anglophone public service. You make me a deputy to the Procurator General, who is junior to me in age, at least. And then you go ahead and put between him and me a Francophone, who is also a super-scale magistrate, but Group 2, on index 1,115. So I saw that the marginalization of Anglophone was moving us towards the precipice.
And it has brought us where we are today.
Indeed.
And when you look at what is happening today in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country, do you see any solution coming soon? How do you feel about the situation?
All along, I was for dialogue. In my political manifesto, I stood for a 10-state federation. Now we've gotten to a point where to talk of a federation even plunges you in trouble, because people have been radicalized to a point where talking about a federation looks like, you're selling out. What is the possible solution? It is for our leaders to come back to their senses. I want to stand on that phrase, coming back to their senses, to know that might is not always right, to know that when you dialogue, the first thing is you give your opponent the impression that you are about a solution, you are looking for a solution. That automatically dissipates passions. Now, the only thing I see which can maybe temper a little the explosive situation today, where entire villages are burnt down, crops on the farms are chopped down, is for the government to declare a unilateral ceasefire. The President of the Republic declared war to the hearing of the entire world. How can you declare war and it is called otherwise? And if you declare war on a part of your country, it is a civil war. So we are in a war situation. The belligerent power is those who are in authority. It is for them to take the first step by declaring a unilateral truce. Thereafter, the governments should facilitate a meeting of the Anglophones, both in the country and in the diaspora, so that they agree on exactly what they want. And that point will be taken to the table, perhaps no longer for dialogue, because passions have been so exacerbated that we can only talk about negotiations. Now we go to the negotiating table and talk about the future of our living together, the future of our peaceful coexistence.
And Equinoxe Television, recognized as one of the most objective TV stations in Cameroon for the year 2017, The awards to Equinoxe Television and one of its journalists were handed over during the 2017 Scoop Media Group Award that was handed a few days ago. Let's have the details with Babla Jonathan. The report of Babla Jonathan that we, of course, would be having in the course of this newscast. But before that, it should be noted that Equinoxe TV's Derek Jato came first in the Courage in Journalism Award ceremony organized by Media People, an international non-governmental organization in Cameroon. We can see how he was receiving the award in a ceremony that took place in Limbe, southwest region of Cameroon. His report on the attack on the Southwest Governor's Convoy on the 20th of April 2018 earned him the award. It should be noted that several journalists were equally recognized during the event that has been organized or was organized by Media People that is owned by Sonny Bayen. Let's hear him in the following excerpt.
It tells me that whatsoever you do, keep on doing it. I have been taken by surprise because I'm winning an award at a very critical moment. So this particular award, Courage in Journalism Award, has helped me a lot to stay focused. The assignment continues and we'll keep telling the story the way it is for the betterment of our audience and for the betterment of the society that we're meant to form and make it better. Thank you.
Derek Jato, recognized there by Media People as one of the daring journalists in Cameroon. The ceremony took place a few days ago in Limbe, southwest region of the country. Now, Equinoxe Television has equally been recognized as the 2017 most objective TV station in Cameroon. The award to ETV and one of its journalists were handed over during the 2017 the Scoop Media Group's award. Details in the following report.
Powerful lady, one of the finest.
Equinoxe Television's Memi Mefo, rewarded for hard work by the Scoop Media Group. The Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Equinoxe Radio and Television is recognized as the 2017 Female Journalist of the Year.
Memi Mefo coming on for the second time.
She comes up a second time to receive an award for a media house. Equinoxe TV is recognized as 2017 most objective television station. The president of the Cameroon National Trade Union of Journalists, Denis Kwebo of Leisure newspaper, receives the 2017 Best Print Journalist Award. He is overwhelmed by a mixed feeling, happiness and sadness. Happy to have received such a recognition, but sad that he's doing so while some of his colleagues are in jail. He thus drums support for the release of Mancho BBC and others.
I would not be happy alone as a reporter, knowing that one of the key sources that I met on ground, I was a professional journalist. Mancho BBC is still under custody for his opinions. I am saying he is in prison, he is in jail because of his opinions, and no good reporter, no professional journalist would accept that his colleague goes to jail because of the opinions that he held. I'm taking good advantage of this award that was given to me today to ask all journalists, every single journalist in Cameroon, to work towards the release of BBC Mancho. Award Thomas, I also take advantage of this award to ask the government and all the authorities around the Southwest and the Northwest to allow journalists to work without any harassment. Many of our colleagues are on the run. Many have gone out of this country, and we want everybody back.
And Barrister Nico Hale is the International Peace Crusader of the Year.
2017 Most Committed International Peace Crusader Award presented to Barrister Nico Hale. The applause is loudest and it speaks for itself. The award is going to 100
in building peace not only in Cameroon, Africa and the entire world. because peace is the most precious gift from God, which must be preserved jealously. A nation can have all the natural resources, like ours. You have no peace, you have nothing. Peace emanates from love, justice, equity, transparency, the rule of law, accountability, the fear of the Lord, respect for other people's rights. These are all core values. Patriotism is part of that.
Through this award, the Scoop Media Group is encouraging hard and excellent work.
It's another way of encouraging and giving a pat on the back on those who have done something, individuals and institutions that have done something that is, kind of community-oriented, that has impacted their community, their media communities or the extended communities. So the School Media Group came up with this idea in order to laud their efforts, to kind of appreciate them. And we all know the power of appreciation. When you appreciate somebody, the tendency is for that person to even do better things or to do it even better.
The award ceremony in Douala brought together a handful of journalists, media, political and administrative authorities from different parts of Cameroon.
And in the following extract, the International Peace Crusader barrister Nico Hale elaborates on the importance of peace in every society and equally the destructive consequences of taking away the peace of a nation. Let's hear him in the following excerpt.
If peace is taken away, what replaces peace is violence. And violence takes you many years behind, because what you have been putting together in construction, in development, is being destroyed. And you are shredding the nation in pieces. And so it's a clarion call to all of us that while we talk of peace, we should ask ourselves, do you love your brother? Do you love your sister? Do you have any feeling for your brother and sister? Is there justice that exists? Is there equity? The rule of law, does it exist? The fear of the Lord, does it exist? Accountability, transparency, do those qualities exist? Patriotism, does it exist? If you love this, I would say that, when you look at the motto of this nation, peace, work, fatherland, it starts with peace, to show you how important peace is. And then you get into what we call our national anthem. Thy welfare will win in toil and love and what? Peace. Peace is an umbrella under which we should act. If you love your brother, your sister, you will not steal, you will not loot, you will not plunder, you will not pillage. You will not take what does not belong to you in deprivation to the disadvantage of the rest of the people. And that's why peace for me is the most essential asset anywhere in the world. I know of people who are a million times bilingual who have looted, plundered, pillaged, pilfered, destroyed this nation. So the problem is not whether you have degrees, you can speak French or English. How moral are you? Morality must go with your bilingualism, with our multiculturalism and the living together. If we don't have love for each other, then we'll be shredded. What Jesus Christ handed to his disciples and to the whole world before he went up was what? My peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives you. Peace does not come to you because your bank account has 10 billion or 5 billion or 100 billion. Especially which is stolen money, you cannot have peace.
That is the International Peace Crusader barrister Nico Hale. They're speaking to Equinoxe television on the importance of peace. And just to note before we go that the divisional officer for Boya subdivision in the southwest region of Cameroon has banned the circulation of motorbikes. The decision that was signed today is indicating that movements of motorbikes in that part of the country has been banned from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. The divisional officer for Boya indicated that defaulters would not go unpunished. And we should note as well that some of the Anglophone activists are going to be appearing in court tomorrow, the 8th of May 2018. Mancho, BBC and other detainees of the Anglophone crisis, after the previous hearing in the case was adjourned to the 8th of May 2018. During the previous hearing, Mancho, BBC was acquitted of several other charges, including rebellion, civil war, destruction of property, killing and non-possession of identity card, but he was found guilty of terrorism, secession, as well as a revolution. We, of course, will be telling you more that in our subsequent newscast. Due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to have the second part of the newscast tonight, but we promise you better things as far as tomorrow is concerned. Televiewers, we thank you so much for joining us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs until we meet again. Goodbye.